So let's start the class 2 of Docker. What we will do means initially let's go to AWS account as usual and then let's try to spin an instance. AWS login console. Let me go to the console and I will give sign into the console. Already my credentials are saved, so I will utilize that. For this, I will click on EC2 instance. There is no running instance. Go to the instance running and then launch instance. We are going to create a new instance. I will name this instance as Docker and the image will be Ubuntu. So I will take the Ubuntu OS and then key pair. I will take Kubernetes key pair. Then all the other things as of now leave it as it is and click this orange button launch instance, which is going to create a new server for us, virtual server. Okay, already there is a server called Docker. Let me name this as old Docker so that we will not have confusion. And then see the status. Now it is in running status. Let's wait for a couple of minutes. Okay, let me try to connect instance. Click connect. You will get this black screen and then you will get a prompt. Okay, I got a prompt. So it is a new server, so initially I need to update the server. Sudo apt-get update. Okay, then what I will do means I will try to install Docker. Sudo apt-get install docker.io. It is asking, do you want to continue? Yes, I want to continue. Hit enter. It's getting installed. Yeah, got installed. How to check whether the Docker service is running? Service Docker status. See, it is active and it is running. So I will type Q to get out of the prompt and then let me check the Docker version. Command is sudo docker version. So this is the latest version. Now what I will do means already we have seen all this, right? Now we are supposed to create a Docker Hub account. Okay. So what is a Docker Hub account? So like similarly how we had in GitHub, we have something called Docker Hub in Docker. Let me try to explain you. I will go to Paint. So this is image. It's a container. So Docker Hub. Okay. No, I'm not able to. Got it. Now, usually this is the life cycle. Okay. What we can do is initially we are pulling the Docker image, right? We are giving the command sudo docker image pull, and then we are giving the image name like Ubuntu or else MySQL or else Alpine, whatever may be the necessary image you want. Initially, we are pulling the image. So initially, when you are pulling the image, it is coming from a Docker registry. That is a public Docker registry maintained by the Docker. Okay, maintained by the Docker organization. From there, you are pulling the image. After pulling the image, what you are doing is you are trying to build a container over the image. You are running a container from this image. Okay, in similar way, what you can do is once after creating a container, you can make certain changes to container. Like last time we did, right? Once after creating Ubuntu container, we like what we did is we went into the Docker container and then we installed Apache 2 version, and then we actually we enabled the services of Apache 2. After that, what we did it we like we placed the index.html code in the where www.html locations. After that, we were able to see the website, right? In similar way, what we can do is the changes which we made in the Docker container, we can save the container as an image. After saving the container as an image, we can push the container to the Docker hub. Okay, so to push the container to the Docker hub, you need a Docker hub account. Okay, and at the same time, after pushing the code to the Docker account, after pushing the image to the Docker account, you can make that image as public so that anybody in the world can like pull the image or else utilize the image, or else you yourself can utilize the image. Let us assume there is an application which needs many dependencies to be in it so that it can actually up and running. Let us assume the application should be run on the Ubuntu OS. It needs Apache 2, the middleware, which is also called as web server, and then let us assume it needs Python and other kind of libraries and packages it needs. What you can do is initially you can pull the image and then you can create a container. After that, you can install all the dependencies in the container. After installing, what you can do is you can save the container and then you can convert the container into an image. After that, you can push the image to the Docker hub. So what this will do is that hereafter, if you know like if you need the container in a similar fashion, you no need to again install a container and install all other kind of dependencies inside the container. Directly you can push the like directly you can pull the container from Docker up. Got it? Directly you can pull the image from the Docker hub and then you can run a container over it. This is the advantage of Docker hub where you can store all the images. Got it? So now what we can do is initially let's try to create a container. Okay, and then we can make the changes to the container and we will try to push the container to the Docker hub. Got it? So what I will do means docker sudo docker image pull. I'll say Ubuntu. So it is pulling the image. Saying, yeah, it's pulling. We can check it using sudo docker images. So already we have image. Let's try to run a container. Sudo docker container run -it. I means interactive mode. Okay, T means take a TTY. Take TTY means separate session. -D. D means run this container in the background in a daemon mode. And then I will say -P where I will give the respective port number. So the port number I will, in the server I will give this port number as 84, and the port number for Apache 2 is 80. So I will map 84 in the VM machine to the container 80 port number, and then I will say name. I will give the name as website. Yeah, website, and the we should give the image name. We can give the image name or else image ID. I will give the image name. 1 2. Yeah, it is done. We can check it using sudo docker ps. It is running. Okay. Let us get into the container sudo docker exec, meaning to execute inside the container hyphen it, and then the container name website, and then you need the bash prompt to log in. So I will give bash. So now we are inside the container. You can see the difference, right? Initially we were inside the Ubuntu server. Now from the Ubuntu server we jumped into the container. Now I will try to update the container now. Apt hyphen get update. After updating, I will say apt hyphen get install Apache 2. Yes, it's installing Apache 2. After installing Apache 2, what we can do is let us check the service status. Service Apache 2 status. It is not running, so I will say start. Then again let's check the service. Now Apache 2 is running. It is saying the service Apache 2 is running. Now what we can do is we can create a index.html file slash under where www html ull already index.html file will be there. So we need the vi command. So vi command will not be usually there because the container will be containing only the necessary libraries. So let me install apt-get install vim. I will give yes. Getting installed. Done. I will say index one.html. Okay, and then I have some ready-made HTML file. You no need to worry about this. I will give this file to you. You can use this for your practice purpose. Paste the file. Okay, and then I will give. Now let us exit the container. Sudo docker ps. Right. So it is actually we used 84 port number right outside. So I will go to the instances in AWS. I will click this particular server and I will make sure that all the ports in the servers are open so that we will not get any kind of issue. I will go to edit inbound rules and security group. Here you should click add rules. Here give all traffic, and then here you give anywhere IP4 save rules. After saving the rules, go to the instance, running instance, click the instance, copy the public IP, go to the browser, and then colon. It is 84, right? You can see the Apache is installed, right? And then our website is under index one.html. So we can see our website, right? Kuvenslam, something like that. Now, if I go inside the container, sudo docker exec -it and then website. Okay, and then I can say bash. I will try to make a changes to the my code file, and let's see how it is reflecting here. Index 1.html. Here I will say click me. Already it says click me for admission. Now what I will change the code. I will say click me click me for assistance. Let us see whether it will reflect. Okay. Now let me go and refresh this page. See, it changed, right? Now already we have seen all this kind of things in last class itself. Let's see how to save these changes. See, what else you have did in the container. Initially you have updated the container, and then you have installed Apache 2. After that you have installed VAM editor, right? And then like you have kept some index1.html file as well. Now what I will do is, okay, let me reshare that. Stop sharing. Are you able to see the screen now, guys? I was showing this one. Like actually, we have made these changes in the code, right? Click me for assistance, so it is reflecting immediately. That is what I'm saying. Like now, what we can do is we can change whatever thing we have, whatever change we have made to the container. Let us try to save this container as an image. So sudo docker ps. Okay, how to save the command? How to save the container? This is the command. Sudo docker commit. Where is the command? Container, actually next command yeah, here it is. So sudo docker commit, usually give the commit id, and then initially you should give the username of your docker hub account, and then the new name whichever you are going to give the image, and then you should check it by using this command. Sudo docker images will show you the newly saved image, and then you should log into your docker hub account, and then push the changes to docker hub. Okay, can we try this? What I will do means sudo docker commit. We should commit which one? This container, right? Web site to docker hub account. So I will use DevOps. Okay, 2023. This is my username, and then I will say the new name as website container, like this. Okay, website container. So and then I will give enter. It is saving because the container size is big, right? It will take some time. So it's saved. So now what I will do is sudo docker images. We got a new container, right? Now we need to push this container to Docker Hub. So initially I need to log into the Docker Hub. Sudo docker login. It's asking me the username. So I will give the username. Hit enter. It will ask for password. Let me give my password. It's just giving error. I think I have given the wrong credentials maybe. Let's just try to log in again. Okay. Let me try now. Now it got a logged in successfully, right? It is saying logged in successfully. Warning, your password will be stored unencrypted in, it is saying your password will be here only. Unencrypted means it will be in plain text. Configure credential helper to remove this warning. And then it is saying like we will be directing to this particular URL. Now let me try to push to the Docker Hub. So what is the command? Sudo docker push on the image name. Okay, so I will say sudo docker push, and I will give the image name. This is the image name. Copy, paste the image name, and give enter. It is pushing, right? The total size of the container is 2 image is 209.9 MB. You can see the difference right here, guys. Initially we pulled the Ubuntu image. Wait, I will show you. It got pushed actually. Let us check from the Docker Hub account. Before that, let me show the difference. Sudo docker images. If I hit this, you can see the initial image which we pulled is only 77.8 MB. After pulling this particular Ubuntu image, actually we build the container. After building the container, we installed many things, right? So now the size is 283 MB. The size has increased. Now let me log into the Docker Hub account. So you should create a Docker Hub account. I will tell you how to do that. So the actual URL is that hub.docker.com. This is a website URL. Go into that. Since I'm having the, so already it's, let me log out and show you. So you will get a page like this. If you go to hub.docker.com, you will get a page like this. So initially you should need to register. You cannot sign in because you don't have an account, right? Click register and give a username. The username should be very unique. Nobody might have already given this username. If it is that, then it will not take it. Okay, and then give a unique email ID and then password, and then select me. If you want the promotional messages from Docker should be sent to email ID, click this. If you don't want, don't click it. Just give agree, and then you say I am not a robot. It will give some puzzle like this. So it is saying select all the squares with buses. Okay, like this. It will give some puzzle. Solve the puzzle, and then if you sign up, you will get your Docker Hub account. Okay. Now since already I'm having an account, what I will do means I will go on, I will sign in. This is my username and password is already saved. I will continue. Here you can see whatever I have pushed, it is here, right? Just now we have pushed this container, right? DevOps JK 2023 website container. So it is here. We have pushed it. So the initially this first name DevOps JK 2023. This is the Docker. This is your Docker Hub account name. So whenever you are, if you want to push a image to the Docker Hub, you should create an image with this format only. Initially, it should be with your Docker Hub account name, and then slash followed by any other name. Okay. So it is saying when it is see last push 2 minutes ago. Got it? So this is how you should push the container to the Docker Hub. Now let's see how to pull the container from the Docker Hub. Got it? What we will do means let's try to delete all these images and all the running containers. Sudo docker yes. So only one container is there. Directly I will try to remove this container. Sudo docker rm hyphen f. Rm means remove. Hyphen f means forcefully remove. I will say website name. Website. So usually you should not use rm hyphen f and all in your organization. You should stop the container and then only you should delete. Since we are in a hurry, I'm doing this. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete all the images. Sudo docker images. All the images at one stroke. I will tell you how to do that. Sudo docker. Okay, RMI, remove image. So at a single stroke, so what I will do is dollar symbol, open bracket, sudo docker images hyphen a hyphen q. I give this, what it will do means, so this is the command to delete the docker images, right? Sudo docker rmi. So I am passing this command sudo docker images inside this um, delete command, so that it will take the input from this command and it will delete all the images. Deleted sudo docker images. See, got deleted. Now I will try to pull the image. Which image? I will try to pull this image. Okay, website container. So I will do sudo docker images pull DevOps 2023 website. See whether the spelling is correct. DevOps take a 2020 website container. It's looking good, right? Hit enter. So the command is wrong. By mistake, we should not use images. It is image. Guys, if you don't use image also, it will work. I will show you that as well. Sudo docker, just use pull. Then also it will work. But it is a good practice to use full command. Now also it will work. Copy, paste. It started pulling. Error response, daemon, full access denied, response not exit, permission denied, access denied. So it is asking us to log into the Docker account. So we will do sudo docker login. So already we have logged in before a few minutes, but it looks like it got logged out. So we will log in again. So this time it did not ask for credentials, right? Because already actually this particular host is known for the Docker hub. So when I gave the sudo docker login, automatically it logged in without asking any credentials. So let us try to pull the container now. Now it will work. Why? Access required to resources denied. Whether this is not a public repository, it's public only. Full access denied. The error response from daemon. Full access denied for DevOps JK 2023 website container. Repository does not exist or may require Docker login. So whether the container name is right. The container name is wrong, man. You might have told me, right? So you have given spelling wrong. DevOps JK. Now let's try. Now it's pulling. So it's sensible. We should give the correct name and other things. Okay. So let us check it. Sudo docker images. So this container is full. Let me try to run this container. Sudo docker. Here also, actually, we are giving sudo docker container run, right? If you give simply run also, it will work. Sudo docker run -it -d -p. This time I will expose port 82 to inside container 80 -name. I will, I will say the name as my web, and then we should give the repository name. Better to copy the repository name so that we will not make any mistake. Copy, paste. Okay. Command is looking good. Sudo docker run -it -d -p port number and the name of the container is my web and then image name. The image is created. Now let's try to get into the container. Sudo docker exec -it and then the image, and then the container name. Container name is my web, right? My web bash. We want the bash prompt. It is there. Sudo docker, sorry, service apache to status. Now we are inside the container, so it is saying not running. Why it is saying not running? We did not even install the Apache 2 service, right? But how come it is already the package is there? Can anybody tell you? Can anybody? Bindu, Nirmal, Vaishnavi, anybody? We have not even installed the Apache 2, but if I give status, it is saying Apache 2 is not running. Meaning is that already Apache 2 is installed, right? Because this is the container we already created, push the image to the Docker Hub. From there, we have pulled the image. This is the advantage of actually saving the changes to the container and pushing the image to the Docker Hub. Now you no need to do anything. Already we have this image. Okay, we may be having even the file as well. Let us check. R www html index. See, we have the file as well. Everything is there in the code. Simply, I can go to the web server. I can say here the port number is 82 this time. I will say 82. You will get the website. You got the website, right? Maybe I will make a mild changes to the website and let's just check. So this is the use of making the changes and saving the images, Docker images. Got it? I will say I will make a change. Hello world, something like that. Okay. I try to save the file. If I go and refresh the website, here you can change the signs, right? So this time we did not do anything. Whatever we have saved the container, it is automatically it's reflecting once we pull the container. Any doubt how to add changes to the container, how to save the container as an image, how to push the image to Docker Hub account, how to pull the image from the Docker Hub account. After pulling the image, how to run the container. Any doubt till here? Good, no doubt. So we have completed all this. We have seen how to commit, how to see the Docker images, login, push, pull also we did. We have seen this command as well, how to delete multiple images, how to delete multiple Docker running containers. And then now this is very important topic called Docker file. What is a Docker file? See, now we did many things, right? We created we actually initially we pulled the container image. After pulling the image, actually we run the container from the image. After running the container, we got into the container. After getting into the container, we installed Apache 2 and then we installed some other dependencies. After that, what we did? We created a index1.html file and then we deployed some kind of mini website in it. After doing that, we started the service. We did these many things, but will you believe me? All these things can be automated. All these things can be automated by a single feature in DevOps called as Docker file. All this complete activity can be automated by a file in a Docker called as a Docker file. So that is what we are going to see. So let's see from the basic level what is a Docker file. So initially you will write some kind of instructions, not a code, kind of instruction in the Docker file what needs to be done. So these are the things you should do. Please pull this image. After that you execute this command. After that you execute this command, so and so command, and you do this. So you will give a long list to what are the things the Docker should do. Okay, so all these things will be listed in the Docker file. Once this Docker file is completed, initially you should build the Docker file. Okay, once you build the Docker file, this Docker file will like once after building it will you will it will create an image. Got it? Once the image is created, what you can do is you can run the container out of the image. You can run even multiple containers. So usually in real time scenario, people they will not do Docker pull images, Docker run command, all this command they will not actually usually they will not give manually. Everywhere in the organization, people will be having Docker file only. If they want to make any changes to the container, they will make the changes to the Docker file. Okay, so after that, during the deployment phase, automatically yeah, the changes which are made in the Docker file will be reflected in the container. Got it? So this is how the website will be deployed. So whatever may be the website code, all the path and everything will be kept in the Docker file. Once they trigger the Docker file, it will create a build and you will get the image. After getting an image, they will run a container. So immediately after running the container, the container they will be running in the respective port. So automatically the website, whatever code is kept in the Docker file will be like copied to the Docker container, and then you will get a website like this. Okay, this is a website, guys. Believe me. Even though it is a small, this is a kind of website, right? If you're able to access from any kind of Chrome browser with IP address or else um, uh, maybe with a domain name. Guys, do you know what is domain name? Any of you? Anyone of you? What is domain name? Yes. Yes. See, usually if you go to any kind of website, here let us assume hub.docker.com. This is called as domain name, or else people used to call it as DNS name as well. Okay. Actually, there will be IP address behind this name. Okay, they will be mapping that IP address to the name. Usually, you are entering this particular name only in the website. You are entering example www.youtube.com. Maybe it is coming automatically. So it is directly going to the YouTube website. But the real case is initially it will hit this particular name and it will check what is the IP address behind this name, and it will pick up that IP address. So maybe your name may be Nirmal. Okay, in the whenever you are like in your office or else in your college with your friends, people may be calling us Nirmal. But in your home, your name may be different. They may be calling you Tinku, Biju, something like Chalaguti, something like that, right? Bangaram, Bangari, kind of things, right? But if I call you Nirmal, also you will turn back. In your hometown, if they call you by your nickname also, anyhow you are going to turn back, right? Similarly, IP address people cannot remember, right? youtube.com, it is easy to remember. If I give an IP address with 192.16.42.32 colon 84 90 like this, if there is any IP address, you cannot it will not be easy to reach the website. Got it? That is why there is something called domain name. So if you hit the domain name indirectly, it will pick up. But here, since we don't have the domain name, we are straight away putting the IP address. So this is also a website only. Maybe in our AWS class, we will see how to create a domain name. Okay, all those things. Let's see. Now, let's get into the subject. So this is what called as Docker file. So the Docker file is having certain kind of components. So what are the components? Let's see. There is components. These are the components of Docker file: from, run, add, copy, entry point, env means environment, cmd means command. Okay, let's see how these kind of components are used in the Docker file. So I have a sample Docker file for you. Okay, this actually there are many kind of this kind of variables, actually components in the Docker, but these are the basic things. How to check? Let me show you. What you can do is that uh, Docker file uh, docs docker.com. This is the documentation you can select. This is the official documentation file launched by Docker docs.docker.com. So if you have any doubt, you should search from here. It's here only. So see, they are saying many run. This is a component, and then you will be able to see many things like that if you scroll down from copy run, and then see add a copy and we expose from label stop signal user volume work dir unbuild. So if you have any doubt, let us assume after getting into the job, it looks like they have used a certain kind of Docker component in the Docker file, but you are not aware. Just put that name here. Let us take the example work dir. This is a kind of component in the Docker file, but let us assume I don't know what is work dir. I'll give you example. You go to any other website, it will show you what is work dir. Work dir instruction used to set the working directory of all the subsequent Docker files. So you will get some kind of result. Okay. So like that you should be able to do. Now let's see. So this is the basic components. Got it? Let us see an example of a Docker file. So initially, let's see uh, how this Docker file is looking. Okay. So what is from Ubuntu means you are asking the Docker file to pull the Ubuntu image. Okay, from means you need to pull this particular Ubuntu image. That is the meaning of from. Okay, so you are saying from Ubuntu. I need a container. I need an image from Ubuntu. That is the meaning. Okay, and then run. This run command. It is actually this run component. It is used to run any command inside the container in the initial stage. So these are the command we used to run, right? After creating a container, we used to write apt-get update, and then we used to run apt-get-y install Apache 2. Usually we will not give -y because it will ask us in the interactive mode whether you want to continue, and then just we will be pressing like we will be giving y and hitting enter so that the installation will be getting complete. But in case of Docker file, it will not ask you interactively, so you should give it -y. So any kind of interaction thing is not possible in the Docker file. Already you should hard code it. Okay, so we are giving a -y and then add. There is two commands actually. One is called as add and another is called as copy. You can see, right? Add and copy. Let's see. This add actually what they are saying is that dot means in the present directory, the present folders, whatever file is there, add it to html, this path. So this path means where www.html, this path will be there both in the server and container, but this docker file is mainly, it is speaking about the container, right? So it is saying whatever file is there in this particular directory, add those file, that is copy those file inside this particular path where www.html. Then so add is copying means what is copy command. We have a component called copy as well in uh, in docker file. So copy, what it will do means it will try to copy the file. Okay, it will try to copy the file from the server to the container. But add command, it will try to copy the file from the server to the image. So add command will be doing something. It will be copying the file in image level. A copy command will be copying something in the means of a container level. But both you can use. I did not find any difference in using them. Both it works actually. And then we have a component called entry point. What is entry point? Entry point, it is used to run service commands. Usually what will use, is my screen is visible to all of you guys? Visible, right? Visible? If anybody is not visible, please let me know. Should I? Ah, yeah, I am there only. Okay. Yeah. Sorry for the interruption. Suddenly I felt like it's not maybe shared. So and then we have something called entry point. So let's see what is entry point. Usually what we will do after installing Apache 2, we will be starting the service, right? But we want to do everything in the Docker file itself. So So to create, like to start, stop, or see the status of any service, we can use entry point. Entry point Apache CTL -d foreground means start the service of Apache D in foreground, not in background, so that you will be able to see all this option running when you are actually building a Docker file. Got it? And then we are setting up certain environment variable. So we are setting up the environment variable is name should be DevOps IntelliPart, something like that. Okay, got it? Now let's try to create a Docker file and try to run it. I will take a break of 2 minutes. Maybe if you want to drink water or something like that, you can also take it. Okay, I will come back shortly. Maybe 1 or 2 minutes. That's it. Okay, let's start. Everybody's there. Everybody there. Give your attendance, guys. Nirmal, Bindu, Vaishnavi, you are there. Then Nirmal is not there. Let him come. Can we start? Okay. So let's create a Docker file. Okay. What we will do is let me get into the server. Okay. To create a Docker file, first of all, you should create a directory. mkdir. I will name the directory as Docker file. And then I will go into the directory by seeding the directory. Docker file, clear. And then I will vi a file called as Docker file. Usually this should be a name for a Docker file. Always all the Docker file will be named after Docker file. Okay. This is the like we should have this name on default name. And then I'm saying from what image I want Ubuntu. Okay. And then let after pulling the image, I need to run certain command, right? I'll say apt-get update. Initially we need to update the machine, and then apt-get install. We need to install Apache. So I will give -y Apache 2. Okay. After that, what I'm going to do is that after installing Apache, uh, Let's remove cmd command. I will say rm-rf. I will say remove this file. Usually this file will be there, right? We will create a new file. So I will remove this index.html file. So whenever you create whenever you install Apache 2 web server, this will be a default file. Index.html will be the default file. Let me show how the file will look. Because of this file only we are getting this page. Got it? This is a default page for Apache 2. So what I'm doing is that I will remove this page and then I will add a page. That is, we will add our own website. I will say index.html. So I will place this particular index.html inside Docker file directory. And then I will say copy the file to this location where www.html. Okay. And then I will say entry point Apache ctl -d foreground. Okay. Looking good. Let's validate once. We have given this. We have added this entry point Apache 4 FORGROUND foreground. Got it. Let's add an environment variable as well. Okay. I will say env name. What name we can give? Let me give Vaishnavi. Okay. So these are the things. So we have added. We are going to pull this particular image, and then after pulling, we are going to update the container, and then we are going to install Apache 2. After that, we are going to remove this particular file in the location, and then we are going to add this file to HTML in the container where a www.html directory in the container, and then entry point we are going to use this particular command to start the Apache 2 service in the foreground, and then we have given only environment variable. Okay, I will show you how this is working once the container is created. And then we should create a file here, index.html. Okay, already I'm having this HTML file. I will use the same file only here as well. Why to waste time? I'm saying some dream something is there. I will remove that. I will say we are running Docker file. Got it? Okay. Now we have the file. Now let's try to build the Docker file. Sudo Docker build, and then you should give the path of a Docker file. What is the path? Home. Here the path is home. How to find the path? First of all, guys, pwd. So this is the path of the Docker file. Docker file is inside here only. There is a folder called Docker file. Inside the folder we have Docker file. Okay. So sudo Docker build. Will say /home ubuntu and then Docker file. After that, give -t means you want a separate tty, and then you give the image name, the new image name, whichever is needed for you. I will say the image name as new Docker, something like that, new Docker. Okay, it will start to build. So it is totally it is having 7 steps. So initially it is working on step 1, step 2. So whatever we will do inside the container, everything it will do here only. It will take some time. It is successful, right? Sudo docker images. If you go, you can see. This is the image name we have given, right? New docker. Let us try to run this container. Sudo docker container run -it -d -p. Now let's give the port number as 87 and internally it's 80. Okay. -hyphen name of the container is, you can say, uh, new something like what else we can suggest some name, guys. Some beautiful name. Hmm? Let me give London. Okay, London, and then it is asking the image name. Image name is new Docker, right? New Docker. Let us hit enter. It is giving some error. Sudo Docker command help container spelling is wrong. Container. Hmm? Now let's try to create. So it got created. Now what we can do is we no need to do anything. Sudo docker ps. So it is on port number 82, right? Straight away go here, give port number 87, hit enter. You should get the website actually. Port number is correct, right? 82 only. London. Let's check. Sudo docker exec -it London bash. We are inside here. We can check service Apache to status. Already it is running. We did not do anything because it came from Docker file. Got it? And then mm, what we should do is let's see whether the file is there. Cat www html index.html. The file is also there. We are learning Docker. Okay, then it should work. Why it's not working? We installed Apache 2 is also running. Everything is looking good uh, from the container perspective. So let us check the port number, whether the port number what we have given is correct. History command 87 only. I think maybe 87 will be used by some other port. I'm not sure whether that is conflicting. Let us check. It's we are using same server only, right? It is reached. Let me give like this. Index.html. I'm not sure. Actually, it should work because everything is looking good. Sudo docker yes. The next start command is installed. What we can do is sudo docker Yes. Check the Docker file once. Docker file. Go Docker exec-it bash. So let's check the environment variable. It should be working. Echo. I give dollar name. Saving Vaishnavi, right? This is the environment variable. Actually, we set it inside the Docker file. So it is established inside the container. Now we are inside container, not Ubuntu server. So if I give echo dollar name, so it is saving the environment variable. The value for name is Vaishnavi. This is also working fine. So let me try to start the service once. Restart the service. Service Apache 2 restart. Okay, but why it exited the like container? Automatically it exited. Oh, the container itself not running. Docker PS. It's in running state only. Sudo docker stop. So container is not in the running state. Sudo docker ps hyphen a. Actually it got exited. Sudo docker start and then docker ps. Now it's running. Sudo docker. Let me get into the container. Bash service status running. We restart the service. So when it is restarting, what it is happening is it's actually pushing us out for some reason. Sudo docker is, I'm not sure why it stopped functioning. So what I'm suspecting is that this docker file, actually we tried to remove this particular this one, right, the index.html. That may be creating a issue, I'm guessing. So what I will do is I try to remove this one and I would say index1.html. I will ask this index1.html file to save, and then I will change the file name here as well. Index.html, I will change it to index1.html, and then sudo docker images. Whatever images are there, I will try to remove all the images. Sudo docker rmi. I'm going to remove all the images at one stroke. Sudo docker images hyphen a hyphen q. Why it's conflicting means already some container is running above this image. So initially we should delete the container and then only it will allow us. So I will say docker ps, and then here I will say hyphen f forcefully remove. Now I will remove all the images. Remove sudo docker images. We don't have any image. Let me try to build now. Add docker file from Apache to add this one foreground Apache CTL foreground and environment variable we have given. Okay, now let me run the container. Sudo docker build the docker file. Let me give the path of the docker file. Then -t. Let's give a name. Demo image. Demo image. I will try to pull the image. It's pulling the image. It's executing all the steps which we have given in the docker file. Let's see how it will go. Okay, it is successful. Then we have done this part. Next step is we need to build also completed. Now we need to run the container. Okay, so what I will do means let me try to run the container. Sudo docker images demo image, right? Sudo docker run -it -d -p. I will give the port number as 89 this time. Let's check. And the inside port number is 80 name demo container, and the image name is demo image. Got it. And that is done. So sudo docker ps. So Apache is running. They are saying it's this port number. Let me take the public IP. Sometimes this public IP tends to change. Yeah, let us refresh and then let's use port number. No need port number 89 we have given, right? So we are getting the page. Got it, guys? Listening. So we did not get into the container itself. So everything is done from the Docker image. So what are the things Docker image done? You can see here. From here you can see from step 4. So bit scroll up. You can see what all the things it has done. See step 1. It has pulled the image, and then step 2. It has updated the container. Sudo apt-get update, and then what it has did, it has apt-get installed. It has installed Apache. After that, what it has did, so it is installing Apache. All these things were able to see, and then it tried to add the index1.html file to this location, and then it has already started the service, because since the service has already started, only we are able to see the page here, right? Otherwise we may not able like we will not be able to see the page. So service got started, and then it has created the environment variable for Vaishnavi. So we can check this inside the container. Now what we can do is can go here slash index 1.html. We have even wrapped up our application as well, right? Inside that, do you remember? I have created a file called index1.html, and I have pasted the file inside this location. We have made a change as well to the application, saying that we are learning Docker file. So this is a This is how the Docker file works. Okay, let us check the environment variable as well, whether it is working. Sudo docker, get into the docker -it, and then container name demo cont, then I will say bash. I will give, now I'm inside the container, you can see. I will say echo dollar name. So it should give Vaishnavi, right? So the environment variable is also done. So why this environment variable is needed means, usually in the real-time environment they will be setting many environment variables inside the Docker container, which will be picked up by the application. Got it? That is why we are using environment variables. So we did this as well. Docker file is done, and then we are having quiz. Okay, you can unmute yourself and try to answer these questions. Docker container includes the kernel of OS as well. They are saying, they are asking you whether Docker container includes the kernel of the OS. Whether the Docker container is having its own OS. That is what the question is. True or false? Bindu, true or false according to you? False, huh? Yes, false. Because the Docker container does not have any kernel. Only basic binaries will be part of the Docker container. So it will be sharing the kernel from the OS level. So Ubuntu OS is there, right? From the OS, it will be sharing the kernel. So your answer is correct, false. How to save an image of a Docker on the disk? How will you save the image? Just now we saw, right? How to save an image. So how to save the image? Docker save, Docker commit, Docker push, none of this. Which is the option? Nirmal, Bindu, Vaishnavi, any one of you? No, it's wrong. Next answer. Okay. Is that Bindu? Yeah, you are right. Docker commit is right. So initially we will be committing the changes. We'll be creating a new image. After that only we will be logging into like Docker account, and then we will be pushing it. Docker commit is the correct answer. Dash is a service from Docker which provides registry capability for public and private Docker images. Registry means what they are trying to say is that what feature in Docker where you can save your images in the remote. That is what the question demands. So the option A is Docker Cloud, option B is Docker Community, option C is Docker Hub, and then last option D option is none of this. Which is the correct one? Yes, Docker Hub is correct because we don't have something called Docker Cloud or Community. So Docker Community is there where people used to like people like you and me, DevOps engineer, they will be there in their community and then they will be discussing any common issues which they are facing. So Docker Hub is the correct answer. Virtual machine includes the kernel of the OS. Virtual machine means whichever machine we are creating in AWS, that is called as virtual machine. Whether that includes the kernel of the OS. True. Yes, you are right. True. And then last question. Containers running on the same machine shares the underlying kernel of the host OS. What they are saying is that if you are running more than one OS, more than one container in a server, they are saying this container will be sharing the OS from the sharing the kernel from the underlying OS. Whether that is right or wrong, true or false. Yes, tell true or false. You can either tell true or false. Answer is true. I have said you already. The container does not have a kernel by itself. The container will share the kernel from the underlying layer of the OS. Got it? Or maybe let me stop the recording first.